Good morning, everybody. We have a mostly higher trade in the grain markets here on Tuesday morning. It is 6:30 a.m. Central Time. December corn futures up 2 cents at 391. November soybeans are up 6 at 1039 and 3/4. December Chicago wheat up 8.5 at 602 and 3/4. December Kansas City wheat up 6.5 at 537. December spring wheat is up 5 cents at 547 and 3/4. Some people beginning to look at last Friday's USDA report as a buy the rumor, sell the fact situation. This is probably mostly prominent in the soybean market. We had a very bullish report in regard to the beans and kind of a poor price action, although it was delayed a little bit. We still closed higher on Friday, yet off of the highs following that report. And then we had the big down day yesterday. So, you see this sort of action a lot in any sort of market when you've got a big news event. As I've discussed at length in the past, the deal with these reports is always figuring out what's priced into the market and what's not. Those pre-report trade guesses are not always necessarily the best guide as to how you should be positioned ahead of or following a report. So I think that's what we saw here in the bean market. Now you look at the charts and the trend has not changed here. We've still got a bull trend intact in the soybean market. You've really got to get, depending on how you read the chart, you'd have to see November futures trade probably below 1020 at the very least in order to encourage some more fund liquidation or a potential trend change. We're just not there yet. Corn, you'd probably have to get these corn down into the, say, mid 370s to get a real trend changer here. So we haven't seen a trend change. We've seen a correction here following an extended rally. That would be my opinion. Dry weather in the U.S. and abroad remains a concern for wheat traders. The wheat market held up curiously well yesterday, and I think that's because of this dry weather. There is not any relief in sight for the U.S. Southern Plains. You look at the maps, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, Colorado, really nothing at all through the end of the month being forecast or very, very little rain. And there has been a drought building in that region for a long time now. The Black Sea region, Russia, Ukraine, those areas are also dry and also have very little relief in sight. So I think that this has helped to support the wheat market. We've got some very good looking wheat prices, especially in these winter wheat contracts relative to what we've seen the last couple of years. Row crop harvest should continue to move quickly as this dry weather continues. A little bit of customs news out of China. Soybean imports in China were up 19% in September versus the same week last year. Now, most of these imports actually during September were still from Brazil. It's not really going to be until next month that the U.S. beans start to arrive. Soybean inventories in China are about record high levels. At record high levels amid the big imports. Total Chinese soybean imports year to date are up, I think, 15 or 16% versus last year. It should be noted that the country's hog herd, Chinese hog herd, has rebounded pretty substantially after that African swine fever deal that really knocked the numbers down substantially in 2018 and 2019. And that's part of the reason that China is able to buy a whole lot more beans now. They've got more animals to feed. They've got more demand. The U.S. stock market is again approaching all-time highs. Phenomenal performance yesterday. The S&P was up 1.6%. They're about flat to a little bit lower here this morning. Got earnings out from a lot of big companies. So at yesterday's close, that S&P 500 was only about 1.5% from the all-time highs that were posted on September 2nd. The NASDAQ, which is the big tech-based index, is also within an earshot of all-time highs. The Dow Jones has been the laggard here. If anything, it has still yet to eclipse that high from February. We will see a holiday delayed crop progress report from USDA this afternoon. All of our reports are delayed today this week due to the Columbus Day holiday. So we'll have export inspections and crop progress today, ethanol production Thursday, NOPA crush report on Thursday morning as well, and then export sales Friday. We should see a sizable jump in both corn and soybean harvest in this afternoon's report. We've had dry weather, and that will certainly cause harvest to accelerate, I would imagine. A couple notes on carry in the corn market, or lack thereof. We've only got, 14 or 15 cents of carry from December 2020 out to July 2021 this morning. That's a spread that bottomed or offered at its peak about 27 cents of carry prior to this rally in August. Typically in that spread, if you're a farmer and you've got short HTAs or you've got or you've got HTAs or you've got short futures contracts, you'd look for something in the 25 to 30 cent range prior to rolling those positions to the following July. And this has become a little bit more of a gray area now that CME has increased its storage rates. Now, the spread was as wide as 27, or actually 27 3/4 is where it bottomed in early August. Again, 14 3/4 this morning. Seasonally, that spread should widen and offer more carry as we get closer to expiration. Now, the seasonals this year, I mean, you can throw them in the trash can. The seasonals for flat price have been totally opposite almost. Same thing in the spreads the last couple of months. But there's still potential, certainly, for the market to add some carry. There's still potential for it to go to the other go in the other direction. I think part of the market's function in corn right now is to get some corn bought. You know, the popular move for a lot of farmers has been to sell soybeans and store corn, and rightfully so. There's carry in the corn market. There's no carry in the bean market. But that may be part of the function of the corn spreads right now. Soybean market is, again, we're in the midst of a correction here. Are we falling apart? No. I mean, that was an ugly looking day yesterday, but again, you pull up the chart, you've still got an uptrend intact, certainly. A couple of notes on Brazil. Some of those drier areas have caught some rain, and the forecasts continue to offer a little bit wetter pattern for the remainder of the month. Everybody from USDA, the Brazilian government, and the private groups are all calling for a record Brazilian soybean crop. I have no reason to think otherwise right now. Of course, you need weather to cooperate in order to achieve that. Wheat futures acting well, still not back to those highs from last week in the Kansas City contract, but they could be there today or tomorrow if the right things happen. Cattle futures were lower yesterday. There were some light deliveries against this October live cattle contract. Cash cattle last week elevated up to that 109 and 110 level. So we'll see what develops today, but not a great performance in the fat cattle futures, especially yesterday. Head of the cash open, the Dow Jones is down 100 points. The S&P is down 2 or 3. Bonds about flat. U.S. dollars about flat. Crude oil is up 86 cents, 40.29 in the November WTI. If you'd like some more information, visit my website, www.standardgrain.com. Go to that website, click on Grain Marketing Plan. If you would like to know when, how, and specifically I am pricing corn, soybeans, and wheat throughout the year, broken down by crop year and percentage. Sign up for that subscription service. It's $49 a month. You can cancel it at any time. You do not need to be a futures or options trader. There's no other obligation of any sort. Certainly check that out. Everyone have a great day today. I will talk to you same time tomorrow.